Urbanization is a process by which people migrate from rural area towards and cities. Modernization is the only thing which motivate the people, towards urban area. When it comes in terms of our challenges, it is very hard for women to manage at home and also to manage in the workplace. Business have two objectives. One is business objective, second is social objective. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Mr. Hemant Kumar from the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Aid College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. In today's session, we are going with the subject called Business Environment. It is for third semester BBA students. In today's session, we are going with social and cultural environment, which is related to the business environment, that is external environment of a business environment. So here we are in session 2 of Unit 4. This is the agenda of today's session. We are going with the concept of urbanization, role of women in business and employment, followed by social responsibility of business and also impact of social and cultural environment on business. These are the topics that we need to cover in today's session. Here, see what happens is, today we get to know due to the upgradation of the technology by the contribution of artificial intelligence, cloud computing and much more things. Here, we get a number of advantages and also we get a number of disadvantages. See, when it comes in terms of advantage, the number of people who get migrate from the rural area to urban area get increased. That process we call it as a urbanization, and followed by role of women in business and employment. See what happens due to the upgradation of the technology and development. We notice a number of people who get migrated from rural to urban get increased from time to time. Say what happens. So the people like a lifestyle of a urban area. So they like the way of living. So they like the infrastructure. So all the kinds of the facility that is available in urban area. So what they are going to do? So they are going to migrate in search of job, in search of facilities, in search of infrastructure to the urban location. That we call it as a urbanization. Role of women in business and employment. See what happens when compared to past 2-3 decades, there is a gradual increase of 30% of a woman who is going to participate in the employment or any kind of the entrepreneurship. Social responsibility of business. So it is about the responsibility of the business towards a society. It is a concern of the business towards a society. How exactly it is going to behave towards the society, which is the responsibility does the business have towards the society. Impact of social and cultural environment of business. So we are going to discuss about the social factors and the cultural factors which impact the business, how exactly the business must get adopt certain things based on the culture or the society. So this is the first topic, impact of urbanization. So here in today's session, we are going to learn how exactly, so this urbanization concept is going to impact on the business entity. Say what happens. So we people already know that, there are a number of people who get migrate from rural area to urban area in search of job, in search of good environment, in search of infrastructure, in search of good lifestyle. Based on this, there are a number of people who get migrate from rural area to urban area. How exactly this factor is affecting the business entity? Done. Urbanization is a process by which people migrate from rural area towards and cities, leading to growth and expansion of urban centers. Say what happens. So I said, so the reason will be different. So what is the ultimate thing? They are going to migrate from rural area to urban area. So there are certain conditions we must consider. What are the reasons for the migration? One is the economic opportunities. So these are the reasons for which the people get influenced by these all factors and get migrate from rural area to urban area. One is the economic opportunity. It may be the job opportunity, it may be the entrepreneurship, it may be a career growth. So these are all the things. By looking at these all things, the people get migrate from rural to urban. Improved living standard. Say what happens. When compared to the rural area, urban area is well developed, well settled, infrastructure wise developed, roadways, airways, railways, all the things, all the facilities, whether it is a mall, whether it is a station, all the things, whether it is a hospital, okay, ITs, BTs, service sector, product sector, each and everything is available in urban area. So that is the reason why the people get migrate from rural area to urban area. Cultural exchange, okay, so there are lots of difference between the culture of a rural area and the culture of urban area. Say what happens, okay, we can notice a number of festivals which is being celebrated in rural area will be much grand when compared to the urban area. So that is a thing that we can consider. Okay, so we can notice a cultural change when it comes in terms of urban area, the way they celebrate festival, the way they consider the situation, the way how they are going to live or lead their life. Okay, so this is a actual way how they are going to consider and motivate their mindset and migrate towards a urban area. Challenges, okay, so as I say, there are a number of benefits, job opportunities, entrepreneurship, malls, infrastructure, these all things are present in the urban area. But so as I say, there is a positivity and also there is a negativity when it comes in terms of a urban area. Okay, there are certain challenges which is being faced by the people. Okay, so there may be a problem with the drainage, there may be a problem with the sanitation, there may be a problem with the pollution, there may be a problem with the population. Okay, traffic problem, yes or no, hazardous waves or the radiation that is been released. Okay, so these are all the problems that we can notice in the urban area. Followed by modernization. Okay, see, modernization is the only thing which motivate the people, okay, towards urban area. Okay, say what happens when it come in terms of rural area, so the lifestyle will be good, but when compared to the urban area, okay, so to be healthy, okay, to be comfort, to be happy, rural life is much more better when compared to urban life. Because here when it come in terms of urban life, okay, so it is a completely complicated, very busy life, busy schedule. They doesn't even have a time to give the for their family. Okay, so this is a busy life, but people get migrated just because of by looking at the infrastructure, by looking at the busy life, by looking at the lifestyle. Okay, so by looking at the facilities that is available, okay, in the urban area, whether it is a hospital, okay, so whether it may be any kind of the malls, shopping malls that is available in the urban area, the infrastructure that is available, airways, roadways. Okay, so these are the factors that is influencing the people towards a urban area. So as we know, when it comes in terms of modernization, we already been aware of the glorification of the technology that is been impacted on the current generation. That may be the invention of the artificial intelligence, that we had adopted the system towards all the kinds of the activities that is been used and utilized in the urban area. And also regarding the internet of things, okay, cloud computing, machine learning. So these are all the contributions that is being given by the modern technology to the generation. Role of women in business and employment. Say what happens when compared to last 4 or 5 decades. Okay, so earlier there was a thing saying that, okay, so the woman must be always between 4 walls of a home. Okay, they're not supposed to come outside, they're not have a freedom to come outside the home and earn their own bread. So this kind of the freedom was not there earlier days. Okay, nowadays the women had taken the initiative, they are entrepreneurs, they are achievers, they are winners. Okay, so these are all the achievements that has been done by the women in all the sectors. We can notice the women employees. Okay, so whether it is an entrepreneurship, whether it is a product sector, whether it is a service sector, whether it is a banking sector. Okay, so all the teaching field. Okay, so we can notice in all the sectors we can notice a women employment. Okay, so that is a thing. Okay, women came out of their home. Okay, so they are going to work hard. Okay, so they are going to bring a good name for their family, they are going to get succeeded in their activity which they are going with. Okay, so that is what the topic is. Okay, so the role of women in business, how exactly these women play a role when it comes in terms of entrepreneurship and employment. This is the actual concept. So here the concept is how exactly these people are going to give the contribution towards the entrepreneurship or the employment. Contribution to workforce. So as I said, in each and every sector, each and every field, whether it is a product sector, service sector, banking sector, IT, BT, everything. Okay, so the women that we can see, that we call it as a workforce. Entrepreneurship and leadership. Okay, so we can notice a number of successful women entrepreneurship like Infosys Sudhamurthy. Okay, so and also leadership, we can notice a number of political leaders, a number of women leaders from that generation till today. Okay, so when it come in terms of freedom fighters, okay, so Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, Kittur Rani Chinnamma. Okay, so these people are the women leaders. Okay, even today's generation also there are number of women leaders that is available. Okay, so in this fact, I mean to say, women is not at all less when compared to the man. They are equivalent to the man, or I can say women are more than the men. Okay, because the efforts that the women they put, the efforts that they are going to put towards a work, their dedication, their hard work, their effectiveness, their efficiency cannot be replaced by the men. Okay, so that we call it as a entrepreneurship and leadership. Economic empowerment. Okay, when it comes in terms of economic empowerment, okay, the women are volunteer enough to earn their own bread. They have a complete freedom from the end of their family for any kind of the job, career, or any kind of the entrepreneurship. That we call it as economic empowerment. They are going to empower themselves to earn their own bread. Breaking stereotypes. See what happens, we can notice in each and every field, in each and every sector, the women employment. Okay, say for example, Kalpana Chawla, we cannot just imagine. Okay, so there is a contribution that has been given to the society. Workplace diversity, as we say, okay, so there is a diversity of a workplace. Say what happens, the woman, he is going to face number of problems when it comes in terms of workplace. They have to take care of their family, and also they have to take care of the work or the profession that we can say. Okay, so when it comes in terms of a diversity of workplace, okay, so there will be a positivity or negativity, and in the same way the government of India had given 30% of a reservation for the women employees, government organization. So challenges and support. Okay, when it comes in terms of challenges, okay, it is very hard for women to manage at home and also to manage in the workplace. Okay, so it is very risky task to perform both the side. Okay, so there is a thing challenge that is being faced by the women. Means we must always be grateful for the women entrepreneurs or women employees, because they are going to make lots of sacrifice. Okay, because even they do have a commitment of their family, children, husband, parents. Okay, they are going to make sacrifice and coming and work in the organization, but also they are going to their family, also there will be lots of commitments and work. Okay, so they are going to work both the sides. Okay, when it comes in terms of men, okay, he's going to work in organization but not in home. Okay, so he may take rest on whatever the thing it is. Okay, but the women, they have to work in home also, they're supposed to work in organization also. So what I mean to say is we must respect the efforts of women by looking at these all things. Social responsibility of business. Okay, so business have two objectives. One is business objective, second is social objective. Okay, business objective is making the profit. Okay, so no question about that. But when it comes in terms of social objectives, it must be very loyal to the society. It must give some contribution to the society. It must be transparent towards the society, because whatever the thing that is going to happen inside the business, okay, so it should sold at external environment, that we call it as a society. Means we may produce the product, we may manufacture the product, at the end of the day we are supposed to sell my product in the society. Okay, we have just entity, but to maintain, to manage that entity, we get the raw materials from the external environment. Okay, as I explained in the previous session, both internal and external environment are interlinked with each other. Okay, so interlinked and also interdependent on each other. Here there are a few factors we must consider. Social responsibility of the business. Okay, so it is a responsibility of the business towards a society. It is a concern of a business towards a society. The first one is protection of environment. Means protection of environment is one of the concern that is made by the business. Okay, so what the business is going to give for the environment? So as I say, business is going to convert the raw materials into finished product. Okay, so that product, that finished product should not affect the environment. It should not pollute the environment. It should not cause any kind of the destruction to the environment, so we can manufacture the environment friendly product. Okay, so this is a thing that what I mean to say, that is protection of environment. The business entity is also responsible for the protection of environment or afforestation. Done. Next one is fair treatment of employees. Okay, fair treatment of employees, because employees are the people who are going to give the bread to the business. Okay, so they are the only people, because if without employees, okay, we cannot even imagine the business. Okay, so they are the people, they are the breadwinners, okay, of the business. Okay, so we are supposed to give a great concern towards the employees by fulfilling their basic requirements, their needs, by satisfying the employees, by giving the attractive remuneration, by taking care of their health, or whatever the facilities that is can be fulfilled from the end of the organization. Okay, so if we fulfill all the needs of the employees, they are going to give good work to the organization. Okay, it is a kind of the investment that I can say. Okay, so if we take care of the employees, okay, so they are going to give back the same return as a work for the organization. So the number of companies, they are going to invest crores together towards a training and development program. There are a number of organization, okay, so which used to provide a free education facility to their children's of employees. Okay, so there are a number of organization which provide the extra benefit. Okay, so it may be ESI facility, it may be the PF facility, it may be the insurance facility from the organization. Okay, so these are all the things which is going to focus on the well-being of the employees of the organization, because if we take care of the employees of the organization, they are going to give back the work to the organization, for that the organization get developed much more. Consumer protection. We must always protect the consumer. We must always be transparent towards the consumer. So we are supposed to tell the consumer which is a product that we are going to sell, which are all the ingredients that is included, whether there is a toxic poisonous substances that is included in the product or no. Okay, the quality of the product, the authenticity of the product, we are supposed to disclose transparently. We are not supposed to lead the customers. We are not supposed to misguide the customers by giving the misleading advertisement. Okay, so we must be always a favor of the customers, because as I say, this is a modern marketing concept, say about a customer centric approach. We are supposed to prepare the product, manufacture the product as per the convenience of the customer. Okay, so that is customer protection. Next one is ethical business practices. Ethical business practices. Business should maintain something called ethics, right? So what happens? Okay, so there must be transparency in each and everything, whether it come in terms of financial statement, whether it come in terms of administration, whether it come in terms of sales, whether it come in terms of purchase, whether it come in terms of CSR activities, whether it come in terms of responsibility towards stakeholders. Okay, so shareholders. Okay, so it must be very transparent, and also to maintain a corporate governance in each and every organization. It is going to highlight the authenticity of the business. Community development. When it comes in terms of community development, so as we know, it is a responsibility of the business regarding the CSR activity. As I said, so each and every business which earn profit more than 5 crore rupees must contribute for CSR activities, that is for the welfare of the society. Say what happens, each and every business, they are going to undertake the welfare of a particular group of activity. So one company, if it take care of the providing the education for the children's, and another company, it is going to take care of the afforestation, and another company, it is going to take care of improvement of the rural area, and another company, it is going to take care of something else. It is going to contribute for the charitable institution. Okay, so it may be orphanage home, it may be a old age home. So these are the different kinds of the activities that has been undertaken by the business entity. Contribution to the economic growth. So it had also contributed towards economic growth of our nation. See what happens. So number of business activity which is going to happen in our country, it leads for the GDP of our nation. Okay, so GDP and GNP, it is a kind of the development of economy of our nation. Legal compliance. So it is about the legal laws or the different kinds of the laws that is being followed by the business entity. Say for example, a company law. So the Consumer Protection Act, which must be followed by the company. FEMA Act, FERA Act. So no, so these are all the acts should be followed by the company. Okay, so it may be a Environment Protection Act. Okay, so these are all the acts which must be performed and which must be strictly followed by the companies for the welfare of the following corporate governance. Stakeholders responsibility. It is a responsibility of the business to satisfy the stakeholders by maintaining the transparency in the business, by maintaining the transparency in the financial statement of the business. Followed by The impact of social and cultural environment on business. So as I say, so the social and cultural environment, culture is about by birth in which culture that we are going grow with. Okay, social is about the particular location that we are going to live or lead our life. Consumer preferences. As I say, consumer preferences differs from one geographical location to another geographical location. It totally depends upon the culture and the local social area where they are going to locate. The preferences of one particular geographical location is completely different from one another particular geographical location. As I say, okay, so from one location to another location, okay, the language get changes, the taste and preferences get changes, the food habit get changes, the dressing habit get changes, the way how they are going to consider the product get differs. Okay, so these are all the changes which is going to happen. Hence, business must adopt these all things and conduct the business for the betterment of business. Workforce behavior. The workforce behavior is completely different from one location to another location. Say for example, in most of the places they like a centralized way of management. In most of the organization they love decentralized way of management. Okay, in most of the organization they respect their seniors. Okay, in most of the organization the equality will be maintained amongst juniors and seniors. Okay, so these are all the different things or the different particular aspects which is going to happen for different conditions and different scenario. Marketing and advertising. The way how we market our product is completely different. Say for example, so the marketing of a product also depends upon the culture. Say for example, we can see the Great Indian Festival, Big Billion Days in our country in India. Okay, so during the Dasara or Deepavali season, because there are a number of people who afford money to bring the expensive items to their home. Okay, so they are going to give the offer during that time. Okay, as we see the Cadbury Dairy Milk advertisement. Okay, so they are going to give the offers and the discounts during Deepavali. What is the reason? Because most of the people that they are going to follow the culture. Okay, so they are going with these things. Okay, so this is the actual way how they are going to adopt the culture and the social factors for marketing and advertising, because they are going with the emotions of the people. So based on that they are going to sell the product. So why they are going to give a huge offers and discounts, why they are going to conduct the loyalty program during the Dasara and Deepavali time? So this is a reason. Business practices and ethics. Okay, so they must follow certain ethics and business practices. Okay, as I said, North India business practice and South India business practice is entirely different. Their entrepreneurship, the code of conduct, the behavior of the people, the rules, regulation norms, it differs from one place to another place. Followed by demand for products and services. Okay, so this demand for products and services also differs from one culture to another culture. Say for example, when it comes in terms of Karnataka, the people usually use sunflower oil. When it comes in terms of Andhra Pradesh, the people use peanut oil. When we go for Kerala, they are going with the coconut oil. Okay, so the wants, needs all differs, or the food habit completely differs from one geographical location to another geographical location. Social responsibility expectations. So as I say, okay, so social responsibility expectation of different location, geographical location is entirely different. Okay, so one particular place there may be a need of education, for another geographical location there may be a need of something else. Okay, so it differs from one particular geographical location to another location. Adaptation to the social change. We must get adopt or adapt. Okay, one, we must try to, okay, so adopt the external environment. Okay, if not, we should get adapt for the external environment. So these are the two things which must business must adopt and implement the same for the betterment of business. In the next session, we are going with the unit 5, that is technological environment and natural environment. So these are the two topics that we need to discuss in the next session. Thank you.